So, on our next installment, is it fascist or not? Let's talk about changing the name of a cabinet department. Somebody seems to be up in arms because the Department of Defense has been changed to Department of War. So, history lesson. From the beginning of this nation up until 1947, the U.S. had the Department of War and the Department of the Navy. In 1947, under guidance from Truman, they passed a law that created the Department of Defense as an umbrella agency to cover all the military underneath its umbrella. The Department of War got changed to being the Department of the Army, and still had the Department of the Navy fell under defense, and then shortly thereafter they created the Department of the Air Force, which also fell under the defense umbrella. Okay, your Marine Corps has always fallen under the Department of the Navy, and our new Space Force actually falls under the Department of the Air Force. So, what they have done is they've decided to rename the Department of Defense back to the Department of War. Because if you think about it, really that is the purpose of our military, is to fight and win our nation's wars. So, and if you take a look, the last time we have actually declared a full-blown war was in World War II. Since the creation of the Department of Defense, we've been involved in several engagements, major engagements, but they were never actually declared war, even though we referred to them as wars. Congress passed authorizations for use of military force in those occasions, such as the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Persian Gulf War, the War on Terror, both in Afghanistan and Iraq. And take a look at how those things ended up ending. In Korea, there was never a definitive end to the war at all. There's a continually signed, again, peace treaty that keeps them from shooting at each other. Vietnam, well, that was certainly a glorious disaster, was it not? Persian Gulf War. The assigned objective was achieved. But then, even though we moved Iraq out of Kuwait, what did Iraq proceed to do? And start gassing and killing their own citizens. And we spent the next 15 years, seems like, 10, 15 years, whatever time was, enforcing no-fly zones to try to keep them from doing it again. The War on Terror. We went into Afghanistan. We took out the Taliban. But it took us 10 years before we could even get Osama bin Laden, which he wasn't even in Afghanistan at that time. But then we pulled out, and what the fuck happened in Afghanistan when we left? Went into Iraq, we got rid of Saddam, and we hung around there and put some stuff back together as best as we could, and then we were just yanked out because people were tired of us being there. We had to go back in because ISIS starts rising up and creating more problems. Has ISIS been completely destroyed? No, but they are kept in check, relatively speaking. So maybe with this name change, we can get our military back and focused to its main purpose, which is to fight and win our nation's wars. Changing the name of a department should not be considered controversial or fascist. Now, I know you do have another point regarding the military, and I'll be covering that in a little bit longer video a little later on. So, thank you all for paying attention, and let me know if you have any issues with some of my points I've made. But until then, I'll check you in the next installment.